All right, so let's go to the third part. I'm going to create, I'm going to load the data from the stage area. In my case, I created a demo stage area just to show you guys how to upload data after you finish. So what you want to do is every time that you load data, you want to go back and do you see the customer key here? No, no, you can't make it. No, no, that part you can make it bigger. You see that the data from the stage area has been uploaded, has been updated. So whenever that you input all the data there, right? You need to update your staging area. All right, so let's go here because when you grab the keys for the fact table, you need to have data, not nulls, for your keys. So I created a whole new staging area here. So I was testing and I run into a problem that everybody should know is my server somehow, I don't know why, changed from automatic to manual. So I had to go to my server agent here, right click and select properties and change here in the service to automatic. All right, so that's one reason that wasn't working also. Okay, so here I'm going to grab a source assistant. So I'm going to grab my data from my demo stage area that I just created. I'm going to select the local host. Here, I don't want to copy paste because that's one of the errors that I got. So I'm going to make sure that I wait to my server to connect and show me the server name. It does take a little while, so we gotta be patient. And there you go. So here I'm going to grab my stage area, my demo. First, I'm going to grab my database here first. So I'm going to connect. I'm going to call this, like I have called all of the other ones, data source. So when the place that I'm grabbing the data, and you should call this uh, data source stage. Okay, now I'm going to grab a destination. I'm going to add a new connection there too. Make sure that your server is up and running, and I'm gonna wait for that connection again, and I know that takes a long time. Okay, that it is. So now I'm gonna grab the same database that says retail. Perfect. I'm gonna rename destination. Okay, so I have the source and the destination. All right, so here I'm gonna grab my data from the demo retail data, that the staging area, I call it differently. And here I have everything selected, and that's okay. You can configure here too, either way. And then now I am going to place that data in my, what is the name? Demo customer that I created for testing. And I'm going to make sure that I do not import the customer key because that will be auto-generated. So the customer key, I'm importing the gender, the age, the annual income, and the spending score. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to right click and execute task, and it worked. So let's go. Hopefully it working here too. Sometimes when you try to do things too fast, you forget a little step and then they don't work later on. Okay, so let me see if my demo customer has the data. So it imported all the data. Now, what I need to do is, my next step is, what is my demo retail? My next step, you see the customer keys null in here. I had to go and update. See, now I have my keys in my customer key. We need to update the staging area so the keys can be placed in the customer key column. So I'm going to close everything. So how the next step is, I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to go back to my control flow, and after this task, I'm going to create an execute task. And this execute task here is going to call update stage. So every time that you created a new key that's auto generated, you had to update your table. So here I'm going to select edit, make sure that I chose the destination. Here in the statement, we're going to put add update statement here, and let me find that one. So we actually, that's the wrong one. This is the correct. Let's see, I had to change a few things. Wait, because I changed my tables. Okay, so it's not retail data. What is the name of my database now? 1 second. What is it? Demo retail data. So mine is demo retail data. Is that correct? Is uppercase demo retail data. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. So I'm saying here is I'm going to set the demo retail customer key equal to dim demo customer, because I think I put a demo customer to the customer key. Here is the, so in order to update, I had to say, please look at the customer ID, because I know that I have a customer ID in my dim customer table, and I have dim demo. Let me see if I didn't forget anything. Oh, this one is retail data. All right, so I had to make sure that I connect these two tables through a key. Since my stage area doesn't have, no, what is it here? Since my stage area doesn't have a customer key, the only thing that I can connect these two tables with is the customer ID here, because I have a customer ID here, and in my demo customer table, I also have a customer ID, so I can connect them through that two keys in there. So if you're not sure, just test your queries. Okay, so update demo retail data that customer key is going to be equal to dim demo customer that customer key. So whatever is in the customer key from dim customer is going to be placed in the staging area. So inner join demo customer ID. If you don't know how to do this query, there's another thing you can do, is you can do a full join also. You can build a query here, right? And instead of inner join, you can do full join. All right, so we're going to select that. Okay, and we're going to see if the inner join, or I'll say full join works. So, okay, and I'm going to connect, and I'm going to, let me see that I forget anything. So the query, okay, if it doesn't work, we'll do a full join. So I'm going to click Start and a word. So I'm going to go to my database. I'm going to refresh, open the tables, looked at my demo retail data, and I'm going to see if, so the customer key was updated. So it worked. So this is how we load all the data to one by one. And before I'll, go and finish the video, I want to just say one thing. So, okay, so we updated, and the next step will be doing I'm going to create a new package here, and I'm going to call this package date, the dim date package. All right, so I'm going to upload the data from the date, and I'm going to update the staging area with the data. There is one thing though that I had to do in my date. I realized that I have the date key, the month, the first, and the last, and the first transactions, but I don't have any way to connect to see besides connecting to the cells, right? So you can do it this way and then query through the customer here, right? So you don't connect, or you can add another connection so the dim date can be connected to the customer, right? So you can do both ways. So here I'm going to leave it that way. But if you want to add and modify the dim date, and let's say add customer. So then the customer, you can say the first and the last transaction of the customer, and you do a dim date connected to a dim date. We can do that, all right? If you feel you can actually create a new dim date, so here, actually I'm going to put here like this, and you can create a new table called dim date customer. So that this one is going to be connected to what is the customer key? To the customer key here. So you had to create this, and you had to create the dim customer, or you had to leave as null because we had to update this and make this foreign key. So you can create a new, so if you want to know, and this it doesn't have to be a key. So if you want to create a new dimension just for the customer, you can do that. Even though we have everything connected to the staging area. So here I'm going to grab, and now I'm going to do the date. I'm going to change theme date. I'm going to grab a source assistant. Make sure that you create different packets, because then you have a 20 million connections in the bottom. You don't know which one is what. So this is one way of doing it, okay? There is different ways. You can use all the B source in the bottom here, all right? We're gonna practice some with flat files, with variants and variables and so forth. But this is the steps to do the SSIS. There you go. So we're gonna grab the database. We're gonna grab a destination again. you go. And I'm going to grab that same database. So all of this is the destination. All of this process you need to have so this is the data source, and this is destination. There you go. So here I'm going to grab that table. That's now what is the table? Demo retail data. So this is my staging area. Here I have all my data. I'm not going to select it yet. I'm going to connect. I'm going to edit here. I'm going to make sure that I drag all my data to the date. I'm going to look the mapping, and I am not imported any key. So here, and I only going to import the month, first and last transaction. Perfect. So I'm going to go right click and execute task, and it worked. So I'm going to my database here, refresh, open it, tables. I'm going to my date here, and I see that it auto increment the keys here, the date key. So now if I go to my staging area, I see that my date key is still null. So I'm going to close all my tables here, and I'm going to do the last step. That is go back to the control flow. I'm going to grab an execute task here, and I'm going to call this update dim date. All right, so I'm going to edit, and here I'm going to grab this. You can use the editor to update. Let me grab the destination connection, and here I'm going to put the statement. So I'm going to go and get my update here.